Hello and welcome to the second PNGC training video on results transmission system. This training video is prepared for data recorders at the count centers who are responsible for entering and processing results data at the district and provincial levels. The training video is an additional training tool to the in-person training you may have received. Please view this video and follow the user manual. Reach out to PNGC ICT for any questions related to your role as data recorder. Let's begin. Open the tablet that you received and click on the Results Transmission app. One of the first things you will see is the login screen. Use the credentials given to login. If you do not have credentials, reach out to the data coordinator. In this video, I will use credentials for a data recorder for a district or open count station for an open electorate election. However, the process will be the same at the provincial level. After you log in, this is the first screen that you will see. At the top, the screen contains the details of the district or province to which you are assigned. The green ribbon is when you can follow your progress. It will give you information about how many aggregations and exclusion rounds have been completed, as well as how many images of the forms you have captured. There are three modules. First, aggregation of first preference votes, used to aggregate the final first preference totals from all the LLGs in a district, and later all the districts in a province. Second, distribution of preferences and results declarations, used to determine the winner of an election at the district or provincial level by recording rounds of exclusions and distributions of second and third preference until an absolute majority is reached. Third, device function can be used to log out, reset device, or view data upload status. Let us start with aggregation of first preference votes. This will take you to a screen with four more options. 1. Record first preference aggregation number. 2. View previously captured first preference aggregation data. 3. Captured images of signed form 66A2. 4. View previously captured images of signed form 66A2. Select Record first preference aggregation number to enter the final first preference count for an LLG. You will find the LLG number on the signed final first preference count form 66A1 for that LLG. Start by typing LLG name, and a drop-down menu will appear with a list to choose from. For our practice, we will select LLG 1. Click Proceed to aggregation of first preference votes. The screen will show us the list of candidates, and in the left column, the total number of votes each candidate has received in previously aggregated counts. Because this is the first count we are entering, they all say 0, but that will change in the next entry. Enter each figure from the progressive total column on the final first preference count 66A1 form for that LLG. Press Calculate Total each time. For example, Isaiah Green 0, Boki Red 91, Kila Gold 782, Gimia Gray 177, Susan Yellow 1327, Stephen Blue 30, Bill Brown 70, Daisy Maroon 623, Alice Pepple 110, Margaret 1069. Do not forget to add the informal votes at the end as well. The final column will show you the progressive totals based on the previous totals, which are now 0, plus the LLG's final first preference count you are adding. Check your figures to make sure they match the final 66A1 form. If everything is correct, press Save. A prompt will ask you to confirm you want to proceed. Click Yes. You will be taken back to the previous screen. Next, select View Previously Captured First Preference Aggregation Data. This will take you to a screen where you can select the LLG final first preference count you want to review. Since we entered data for LLG 1, that's what we'll choose. Here you'll see three columns with the same figures we just saw. The middle column has the final first preference count for the LLG you just entered, and the right column has the progressive total. If you have any corrections, press Edit. Write this down on your hard copy 66A2 Aggregation of First Preference Votes form. Press the arrow on the upper left-hand corner to go back. After every 6 LLG aggregations, or once you've completed all aggregations, you will need to take a picture of the signed 66A2 Aggregation of First Preference Votes form. To do this, select Capture Images of Signed Form 66A2. Make sure to select the LLG Final First Counts on your form and specify the number of pages to the count. If there are many candidates, the form may have more than one page per count. The application should pre-select the LLGs and the number of pages required, but double-check just in case. Make sure that your picture of the form is clear and does not cut out any of the form. That image will be used by PNGC headquarters to verify the results. If the quality is not good enough, you can always retry to take the picture. To view the picture, go to View Previously Captured Images of Signed Form 66A2. You can replace the image with the one if needed by pressing Edit. This completes the process for the aggregation of first preference votes. If you are serving at a provincial center, you will repeat this process by aggregating first preference votes for each district within your province. The procedure is the same. Now let's go back to the first screen. Once you have completed the aggregation of first preference votes, the next step is to distribute the preferences. On the first screen, select Distribution of Preferences and Results and Declarations. The next screen will have the following options: Distribution of Preferences Form 66B, Authorization to Declare, Read Capture. Let's select the first option. You'll see a screen that looks very similar to past steps in this process. Let's start with Record Results of Exclusion Round. The left of the screen will show the list of candidates, and the middle column is the total number of first preference votes that candidate has in the district or province to which you have been assigned. In order to win the election, a candidate will need to obtain the absolute majority of votes. The application will tell you when that has been obtained. That hasn't happened here, so we know no candidate has the absolute majority. Therefore, the candidate with the lowest number of votes will be excluded. In this case, that is Bill Brown. Press the Exclude button in his row. The app will show he has been excluded with red letters. Now all votes for Bill Brown must be distributed. You will receive 66H forms from the counting center with every number of votes going to a different candidate. Enter in the empty middle column next to each corresponding candidate. Each time you enter a number, press Calculate Total. For example, Isaiah Green 10, Boki Red 21, Kila Gold 134, Gimia Gray 1, Susan Yellow 154, Stephen Blue 5, Bill Brown excluded, Daisy Maroon 31, Alice Purple 1, Margaret 10 2. Notice that every time you press Calculate Total, the column on the right will update the number of votes for that candidate with the new ballots from the exclusion. At the bottom of the screen, you will see a space to enter exhausted ballots. Exhausted ballots are the remaining ballots from Bill Brown's count that could not be distributed to any of the rest of the candidates. Don't forget to enter that figure. In this case, all ballots were redistributed, so that number is 0. Check your work. If everything is correct, press Calculate Figures. You'll notice that the third to last row says Unaccounted ballots must be 0. After you've pressed Calculate Figures, the number to the right of it should be a green 0. If you see a red number of some kind, there has been a mistake in the figures entered. Check your work again and ask for the data coordinator's help if needed. If everything's correct, press Save. You will be prompted to confirm your submission. Select Yes. If you see an error message, see what needs to be corrected in your figures. As in past steps, the next thing to do is click View Results of Previously Captured Exclusions. Here you'll see a record of what you've entered. Notice that the row for the excluded candidate is in red. The first column of numbers is the previous total of votes each candidate had. The second column shows the distribution of the ballots from that exclusion. The third is the new totals per candidate. At the bottom of the screen, you'll also see the total number of ballots distributed, exhausted, and the total number of ballots remaining in the count. You will also find the number of absolute majority, which has been automatically calculated by the application. If you need to make any corrections, press Edit at the bottom. If everything's correct, copy all of these figures into the hard copy 66B distribution of preference form. For more details on how to fill out the form, please refer to your training materials. When you're done, press the arrow on the upper left-hand corner to exit. Continue entering the remaining rounds of exclusions and distributions of preferences from the incoming 66H forms. Once a candidate has obtained the absolute majority, the application will automatically notify you before you try to proceed with a new exclusion. After 10 rounds of exclusions, or once the final exclusion has been recorded on the 66B form, you will need to take a picture of the signed form. Select Capture Image of Form 66B. The process of capturing images and reviewing or editing those images is the same as for other forms. This completes the process for the distribution of preferences. The procedure is the same at the district and provincial levels. Once you have entered data from all rounds of exclusion and captured images of all signed 66B forms, your work on the application at the district or provincial level is done. Thank you for your diligent service as data recorder to the PNGEC for the 2022 national elections.